uh,
Great. Okay, so let's talk about grace.
okay. Why did I say yes?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I really respect Anna and Etta of Curate. I think that they have grace. They are these really beautiful women inside and out who have beautiful taste and who are elegant and lovely. And so if they recommend something, I listen to them. But beyond that, I looked at what you designed, which is so extraordinary. You're just an amazing, amazing artist, and I'm madly in love with what you do. So between having Anna and Etta recommend you and looking at what you do, that was my interest. And then when you wrote to me and talked about the project involving grace, it became even more interesting to me. So there are levels of all of this which make me interested. And I started thinking about grace and what is grace. And I actually went online and looked up what different people say about grace. And there was someone who had a thing that was 15 different qualities of someone who has grace. And the qualities are things like actively listens, is more concerned about others than concerned about themselves, is humble. And there were a whole list of things like this. And as I was reading it, what occurred to me is that's really a very female kind of trait when it's described that way. I'm looking at these qualities and I'm thinking, this is female.
Absolutely.
So I thought that's so interesting. Are you struck by that also?
No, not really. I was thinking about this quality being only a woman quality when I've done the collection that I told you about, and I found this attribute to be unique to all women because I've been inspired by, for example, photo model or an actress, and also a very, let's say, cruel queen of Romania from middle times, Even though I found this attitude of, as you told before, these attributes that they have in common that summarize into grace.
I think about family members who have been terminally ill and dying. And I think about, the people who care for people who are terminally ill and the amount of selflessness and the amount of grace that they show is incredible. And when I worked as a lawyer, I represented home health care and hospice providers. And there was something about people who worked in hospice and took care of the dying that was so extraordinary. There was just a quality there of grace, of really looking at the humanity of people who may be not so difficult to be with, caring for people selflessly. And so that's what comes to mind. I don't know that that's my first experience of, looking at grace, but it's a really strong memory for me.
Well, yeah, it's powerful. Yes, but is there a woman that you have in mind from, I don't know, arts or entertainment or maybe politics showing this grace, but strongly?
Well, it's very interesting. In terms of women in entertainment, I don't know that we really get to know them. I think we get to know their persona, and so you don't know, if that's real or not. And the same thing with women in politics. I was a lobbyist on Capitol Hill, so I worked with senators and congressmen, and that was women as well. I think what we're experiencing now in the United States is a lack of grace. We're,
What? Sorry.
a lack of grace in terms of politics that sadly, there are a number of current members of Congress who are, instead of trying to work for the greater good, are really looking to improve their renown and are not looking to the greater good. And it makes me sad because when I was lobbying Congress years ago, that wasn't the case. And we would have these wonderful legislators. I think there were 2 women senators from Maine who were so extraordinary, who took up a lot of women's issues, who were very interested in healthcare. They weren't even from the same political party, but they worked together because they really wanted to work for the good of people. And, it was so impressive to me, and it was just a real role model. And I'm kind of seeing things more combative now than cooperative. And it makes me sad. The lack of grace is what makes me sad. Now, when you talk about grace, I think of it in another way too, which is that, I've danced my whole life. And so you think about dance and you think about grace, and what is that? It's an ability to sort of move elegantly. And I think that moving eloquently or elegantly is also a parallel to what it is in life, to be able to move elegantly in life. And I think one of the things now, a lot of people will talk about how women can't be friends and women are competitive. And I don't believe that. My experience is that women are very cooperative and very supportive of each other. In every circumstance I've been in, whether it's been the workplace or whether it's been dance classes or performance or my personal life, women have always supported each other and been thrilled for each other when they succeed and acknowledge each other's differences. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. I think that female friendship is very special and very different. I don't see those kinds of friendships with men. It tends to be more, men with women can be softer and relate, but a lot of times men with men are functioning on a topic rather than that kind of connected level where you're supporting each other. Am I making sense to you?
Yes, a lot.
I think I'm looking into the past when in years past, there was a lot of grace in terms of politics, and there isn't now. That's on a global level. But when I'm talking about my personal life and my friendships, that's where there's the support and the grace, not necessarily on the, on a level where in entertainment, it can be very competitive. In politics, it can be very competitive. And competition, I think, is the enemy of grace.